Hi, I'm John Krugman reporting for Mascot Insider. We're here with Stagecraft Incorporated and Randall at IAAPA 2014. Now, can you tell us anything new that you have to showcase here at IAAPA 2014?
Well, yeah, we're known for our character costumes, and we're also known for our illusion costumes. So this year, along with our man in the cage, which is our gorilla carrying the man in the cage, we've done a Yeti, or a Sasquatch, that carries you in a snowball. So I wasn't sure what kind of reaction we'd get, but we've already sold the one that we had here, and we're making a few more.
Nice. So can you tell us a little about your company, how long you've been kind of making these?
Well, we started in 1975. I worked out of a park in Cincinnati, Ohio called Kings Island. A hockey team, the Cincinnati Stingers, came to Kings Island to find someone that could make a mascot, and they put them in touch with me, so I incorporated under Stagecraft. And then I was in college at the time, so then I started making character costumes as mascots. So we do Duke, DePaul, Louisville Cardinal, the Kentucky Wildcat. So we've branched out that way. Plus a lot of the major amusement parks.
Oh, okay. Now, what makes yours different than a lot of the other mascots that, a lot of the other companies that are out there?
Well, we have a unique way of covering the faces, so that we use a reticulated foam that lets us ventilate the heads. But also we've branched out when we branch out into the illusion costumes, we put the person outside the costume so that he can talk and he can interact, and he's not as hot. So you can imagine if he were wearing the gorilla, he'd be much hotter. But because he's out, he's able to talk, drink, communicate, and it's much lighter that way.
Now, with a lot of these, what have been some of the challenges? I mean, obviously, you had some of them, you have like the inflatable mascots and whatnot, but what have been your particular challenges with manufacturing some of these?
Well, it's trying to keep them light. We use a lot of the new foams that are out in order to keep the structure light. This one has aluminum because we want it to look like he's caught in the cage, but we've done it in a way that it keeps it as light as possible.
Oh, I gotcha. Now, I don't know if you've actually heard of, there's a documentary series called Behind the Mask. It kind of showcases what it's like to be a mascot and, what it really is. It's not an easy job being like a sports mascot and whatnot. I don't know if you've seen it. They've kind of renewed it for a second season on Hulu. Have you seen that at all?
I haven't seen it.
It's really fascinating, and I certainly should let everyone know to check that out. But can you tell us any famous mascots that you've actually had the chance to work on, or if by any chance any ones that you've had favorites of?
Well, several years ago we did some costumes for the country of Singapore. Mm-hmm. They had to be 15 feet tall, so there were some mechanisms to make them walk, make the mouths open and close. And when we packed them up, they were out on our back lot in what I called small condos, because they were pretty big boxes. We shipped them off, and a week later we figured they're all being used. And I got a call back, and the shipper had smashed one of them and asked me if I could just pack up that day, go and fix the costume. And I said, Singapore, halfway around the world, can you give me 24 hours? So we went over, got it fixed in about 4 hours, but I was there for about 4 days.
Oh,
it was really nice watching them rehearse the celebration that they had with them.
Now, I don't know if you've been to the Magic Kingdom recently. They have a talking Mickey Mouse now, where the head kind of talks and they interact with guests. How do you think that really, with technology now kind of advancing, how do you think that's really going to affect, interaction with guests down the line? Do you think that it's more of, not if they should do it, but will they do it?
Well, in the past, it's always been a question of if it talks, you got to have somebody that knows what to say. And of course, characters get punched and things, and you don't want them just talking back. So Disney, of course, is a good place to have that pioneered, and I would imagine that's where the costumes will be going. But it's going to be something that you have to get used to, because usually the person inside, you're not seeing that person, and you're certainly not hearing from them. So it adds a whole new dimension.
Wow. Now, for our last question, where do you think you see your company like 5, 10, even 15 years down the line, just on like products and whatnot?
Well, I think we're probably still going to innovate and move towards the types of things you just mentioned, which is the movable mouths and things like that.
Gotcha.
We'll be looking for other types of illusions we can add into our characters.
So, of course, before we wrap this up, we want to give you at least the chance to let all of our viewers know where they can, our people can find your wonderful costumes.
Yeah, well, we're out of Cincinnati, Ohio, and we have a website called StagecraftInc.com. So you can just go on the web, and you'll see all of our products and be able to interact with the website.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Randall, for taking the time out. And, of course, this has been John Corigliano reporting from IAAPA 2014. And stay tuned for more coverage of IAAPA. And go to mascotinsider.com.